Hi everyone, welcome to Sewing Seams with Deb. It's Friday Sews. Hi there. A few things to talk about today. First of all, I'm wearing, believe it or not, it started out to be the ultimate shift dress. And this is the old packaging. That Sew Over It, they've changed their approach these days and they've got lovely new packaging. And so this dress started out to be a ultimate shift dress, and I had great ideas that I was going to change it up a bit and put big puffy sleeves on it, which I did. I did at the time, got rid of those. A big ruffle on the bottom, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. Can you see that? See that ruffle? Anyway, so I put the ruffle all the way around the bottom, and guess what? As usual for me, it was too short. So I had to think outside the box and get my creative side of my brain working, the right side. And so I decided to see if I could match the background colour, which is the navy blue, with some linen, which I did. Linen. It's a linen mix. And so I've got the side panels, which I've added, and then I've taken it off anyway. So I've changed it up almost completely. But I wear it a lot at this slightly cooler weather. So I'm very pleased to say that our nights are cooler. We're starting to get better sleeps, and yeehaw, we've got a season change. Not sure if we've still got a little bit burst of summer left, but anyway. So I wanted to talk to you about the Woolarama. So I went down to, it's about a 2.5 hour drive from where I live here on the country road going south, and went down to the wool and sheep show, and it was fabulous. So I had such a great time watching the sheepdogs and the fashion parade, and looking at all the machinery. Believe it or not, I'm interested in that, and all that farm sort of stuff, and just catching all the different vibes and everything. I came across some lovely crafty type people, and I'll show you what I bought. So I couldn't resist this. This was some earrings that I bought, this lovely maker. So I've got some white ones, of course. I bought some pretty yellow ones. So this lady is Bridges Collections. Some beautiful purple ones, and some amazing, Three Bridges Collections. Three Bridges Collections. And we've got some red ones. And so those ones there, that was lovely. And that lady's from a really tiny little place called Nibing, which is down that way. And she's doing a great job. She's got lots. It took me so long to choose my earrings. Oh my dear. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I came across this other amazing lady. So she's got a business. It's called Jessica Joyful Studio. I should put my glasses on, really. Jessica Joyful Studio. She's here in WA, and she's got fabrics and patterns. Oh, guess what? I bought a pattern or two. And now I'll show you the new Sew Over It look. So, because I finally got myself the Betty dress. I'm about the last person in the world that follows Indi pattern makers that happens to get the Betty dress. And again, that's the fit and flare, which is my favourite style. I seem to reach for that all the time, particularly in summer. So I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. And Jessica was so lovely. Jessica Joyful Studio, yes. And I also bought my other favourite, Tilly and the Button, the Lyra dress. Again, bit late to the party. Lots and lots of you have already got this pattern, and I've seen so many amazing makes of this. So I'm really excited to get maybe a long sleeve made for the winter. So they're great little scores I got from Jessica, and I had a lovely chat to her and her beautiful mum. And so we're going to probably see her a bit more. I will, because I'll be calling up there and having a look at her fabrics and so on. So that was great. What else have I been doing? Okay, so I have done my upcycles. You might have seen the blue men's shirt, fleece shirt, the flannel. So it's got a pretty pocket, the sleeves, and even the bottom and the collar. So and I've changed the buttons and made an extra belt, or it could be, you know, for the hair or a tie. So I've done that. And the pink skirt, yes, I took down the hem, and I've got a few pics here of what it was looking like. So as I'm talking, I unpicked the hem, which wasn't hard to do. It was in really thick thread. So I unpicked the hem. I actually end up washing it so that the creases had come out a bit more. And then I ended up mucking around with the tie. And I've ended up with, oh, sorry, wrong side. Ended up with this. So up close, what I've done with the tie, I've done this in the past with another skirt, which I can't find. I think I threw it out. I gave it to Vinnie's. You see, I've just put pleats at the bottom. I've got a little video which I'll show you. So, and I've got a pop of colour on one of the pockets. So that's going to get a lot of wear. I had a lot of fun doing that. I just, I did a bit of hand sewing to sew that tie, particularly on the pocket. And I think I'll get heaps of wear out of that. It's going to go with the blacks and the navy blues and the pinks and even orange. Orange and pink go together. So that's fantastic. Another thing that I mentioned in the past is about the podcasts I listen to. And I've come across Seamwork Radio. Well, I've been listening to them from time to time in any case. And that's the beautiful Sari and Hayley. And they're fabulous to listen to. They've got all sorts of topics on there, and that's all the sewing world. So that's brilliant. I particularly liked the episode where to look for confidence in your sewing practice. And I thought that was fantastic. It's about boosting your self-confidence. It talks a lot about small wins. It talks a lot about the lessons I've learned and recognizing our self-sabotage. And look, when have I done that? I've done that self-sabotage when I've tried to finish something too quickly. Just slow down. And enjoy the process, and then the garment will be finished when it's finished. So I do self-sabotage, some of that, all about learning and the practice, and the more you practice, the better you get. So that, and the other thing, a huge one for me, was acknowledging your progress. And so it's not that easy for us to acknowledge that we're progressing, is it, at times? And sometimes we forget to acknowledge it even to ourselves, that, you know, we're improving, or that was a good job, or that looks nice, or whatever. So, hey, and I've got this really, well, I think it's funny story. Well, it was something funny that happened. I was at the Woolarama, ordered a coffee, waiting there for the coffee to be ready. And this lady came up to me, and I was wearing that garment there, which I'll talk to you about in a second. And a lady came up to me with a big, huge camera with a big, huge zoom on it and said, "Excuse me, would you mind if I take your photo?" And, well, I don't know. Anyway, it turns out that she was from Farm Weekly. That's a West Australian country farmers weekly newspaper. And she was doing a story for the Woolarama, and she thought my dress looked really lovely. So how cool is that? I didn't go into I made it myself or any of that. You know, that's a thing, isn't it? We don't always want to own up, if you like, or sprout about how our garments are made by ourselves. And I'm not sure, I mean, maybe we should say, oh, actually, you know, I made this myself and this was the pattern and so on. So how about that? And I'm sure it would be interesting. Well, I'd love to hear if any of you have been approached by any media or anyone at all to ask about your dress or your garment that you're wearing, and that they like it, and where did you get it? so that's a interesting scenario. Now that dress, that's a charm pattern, and it's a night and day dress, one of those amazing patterns that Gertie puts out. And this one has that many options inside it. This is the line drawing, so you can have a round neck, square neck, all the varieties, and all the varieties of skirts. So I will show you a bit of a spin with me in it, with the hat and everything that I had on. And now I made this in 2020, so this is my third season with it. And I find that I go to this dress a lot. And I seem to gravitate towards the fit and flare dress. And I made some notes. I always make notes about when I made it and what to do next time. So it was a little bit loose around the neck, so I've got a note to rectify that for next time. So I cut out a size 10, even though I was at the time I had 36-inch or 92 centimetre waist, and my hips were 41. My full bust was a 39 at the time. It's changed since then, but that's got a bit of stretch in it, that fabric. So, and I ended up not putting the full flare skirt in because I didn't have enough fabric. Yeah, it was a square neck, and I'm really happy with it. And I do reach for that dress a lot. And I made the self belt with little belt loops. So how's that, hey? So I'd love to hear your story about how someone came up to you and said, that's nice, you look lovely today. So yeah, let's keep that conversation going. Let's keep that story going, because that's a great credit to us and a lovely compliment, isn't it? But yeah, it doesn't always feel natural to accept it. It feels a little bit, homemade is not always something that people like to hear. Handmade is another way to say it. So, yep, so that was it at Woolarama. Now, what are my plans? Well, I do have a bit of a busy week coming up, but I really need to draft out a few patterns. I've said before it's not my favourite thing to do, but now I've got the Lyra pattern and the Betty pattern. I want to get cracking, and while I'm keen to draft those up and get them ready and figure out my size and get them ready. Now I'm undecided, so you might be able to help me here. Given that we're heading towards our colder season, do I continue on and make the Betty dress, or do I just bite the bullet and start the Lyra dress and have that ready for when it starts to get colder? I'm leaning towards the Lyra dress, so that's one decision, and this is where I get a bit stuck. My decisions, it's too many choices. I've got a cupboard full of patterns and a cupboard full of fabric. Anyway, so my thoughts about the Lyra, and please help me with this one. What do you think? Should I make it out of a slightly lighter fabric, or a heavier linen? So I've got a couple here. So this is a check seersucker. Oh my God, don't you love it? Isn't it beautiful? Now I've got 2.5 meters. Not sure it'll be enough. That's my problem. I don't always buy enough for these bigger dresses, but isn't that beautiful? It's quite light though. I'm not sure. It could be good for our autumn. So, and it's a lovely autumn colour. So, and I've never ever wear yellow, and I know it's yellow month for our sewing world. So that could be something, right? So that'd look nice as well if I've got enough. This one, I actually have more. So this one comes from Spotlight, and I got it on a 40% sale, and it's just a plain red. How unusual for me. It's not showing up as the same red that it is in real life. It's a little bit more maroony red or burgundy red in real life, but on the camera it looks like blood red. And red looks good on me. Well, sorry, that doesn't sound very modest, but it seems to suit me. And I've got 3.6 meters, so I reckon I'll have enough. So that was, as I said, I got it for $19.80 a metre Australian, which is pretty good, and it's labelled as premium linen, so it's a bit heavier. And I'll just show you the drape. It's not as drapey as that seersucker, but it's still, and of course linen washes up and goes soft the more you wear it, but it's got lovely drape still, even though it's quite thick. So I'm leaning towards that. I'll be interested in hearing what you have, your thoughts on that. Do you think the seersucker, the yellow, hang on, the seersucker, which is a bit lighter, a bit autumny, or just go for broke and go for the red? Let me know what you think. Okay, so thank you very much for watching today. If you are a subscriber, welcome back, and it's great to have you each time we meet up. And I invite you, if you are not a subscriber, to subscribe. And if you could hit the thumbs up button or the like, that helps the algorithms, you know, the little gremlins in YouTube, to figure out what videos you might like to watch next time. So until next time, I shall talk to you soon. You take good care and happy sewing. Bye.